We're ahead of the game today. Good morning, dear people. Oh, there's the sun just coming right now. As I spoke, we're ahead of the game. There it comes. The emergence of a new day in our lives. A new gift. To hear the doves cooing. Up here above us in these palm trees. In their impregnable fortress. There we have that nice smile. The love that's involved in a new day. And the track it's leaving in the water already. The light beckoning us forward. Some people, different times in history, have put out the slogan that the Old Testament is a very harsh image of God in contrast to the New Testament. Today we have very rich texts to show, again, like yesterday's, a very different understanding. The Old Testament is a revelation of God who is love. And there are so many reasons to see it like that. And also the discovery of God is the discovery of ourselves. So it's the discovery also of the human being as called to love. And that's very much clear in today's text. Those incredibly powerful lines, precious lines that are in the heart of so many. Look at the way that's burning up the water. Oh, there was a fisher bird, just caught that bird. I don't know if it was on your screen or not. We have this famous text. Hear, O Israel, the Lord is our God, the Lord alone. Therefore you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your strength. And when Jesus asked about the greatest commandment, that's where he starts. And then he completes it with, oh look, this is a fisher bird here just getting ready to swoop. And one just swooped over there. And this is where Jesus starts. The greatest commandment is this. Hear, O Israel, the Lord is our God, the Lord alone. Therefore you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your strength. I know that there are probably some people who are in a struggle at the moment. It's not unusual or strange or weird to be in a struggle with God. It's part of the challenges we have with our nature. To be in a struggle with others. There are many complex reasons why we get into that mindset and framework. But we can grow. Where we are today doesn't need to be where we are tomorrow. And there's growth in the spiritual life. There's a famous woman in Germany. Her name was Anna. And it's a young woman, maybe not yet 20, working in a house of wealthy people in the laundry with a big vat of bleach, boiling bleach. And she unfortunately and sadly fell into it. All her skin was critically burned. think she was paralyzed for a long time, maybe her whole life afterwards. The first 3 years of her circumstance were 3 years of struggle with God. But it was also a struggle with herself, as a young woman has that endowment of natural beauty, visible beauty, that the Creator gives. And so, obviously, it's a huge struggle to lose all of that in one fell swoop. And all that beautiful luster, warmth, harmony, newness, gentleness, softness, innocence, all is in one moment turned into a blister, a boil, pain, excruciating pain. Medical treatments that might be more or less successful or unsuccessful. And we shouldn't be surprised that people go through struggles with God after major trials, during major trials. It's only the very mature soul that's able to package that relatively quickly. And so we go through periods of complaining, bitterness, anger, distrust, doubt, suspicion. Does God really love me? And that can be a whole family in that situation. How many families become estranged from God because of a major crisis, a major suffering. And one or two people can be, in the family, can be the ones who push that line, and it becomes absorbed by the little children, our cousins, our siblings, our neighbors. And then it's not so easy to say love God with all your heart. I'm playing around with the camera here, and I opened accidentally 2 or 3 other programs. So sorry for those blank moments. That also shows us when those things happen between people, moments of harshness and suspicions, how important it is to exercise forgiveness and to rebuild the relationship, to rediscover the trust and the love that people have for each other. And then you have those souls who go through incredible trials, even to the point of martyrdom. One of the big test case scenarios, the major laboratories of love of God, witness to the extreme. And we marvel before such souls, such people, such incredible. And it's not sheer brute willpower, it's a transformation of the person, because we don't carry ourselves with our own power. We're carried in the creative and redemptive love of God. And so we're on our knees asking for blessing, asking to open our hearts. And that's a time of growth, a time of a little bud opening up like a flower. It needs its time, it needs its pace. So we can have great confidence that this is the future of humanity. To love the Lord your God with all your heart and all your soul and all your strength. And to love your neighbor as yourself. That's the second part coming in from Leviticus. It's not in our text today. And then take to heart these words. So it's not just a memory exercise, and that's also part of it, and some of the rest of this reading today will give means of memory with the little cords and the door jambs to put up these words and to wear them on the forehead. Take to heart. We need to put them in our heart, not just in a little leather pouch, on a string, on a door jamb. And those are beautiful Jewish customs. And all types of memories are helpful. And that's what also a lot of the imagery, Christian imagery does. It creates reminders in our lives, in our workplaces, in our living spaces, that we're not alone, that we're among the cloud of angels and saints in the presence of the Almighty. And so we need help. We need to look out for ourselves. We're like somebody that's maybe a little on in years and we limp. We need a stick to walk. And it's a wise thing to use it, and a little bit arrogant to the person who says, I don't need a stick. I always say use a stick early so that you can postpone the date when you really need to use it. It can be a great support, especially hiking up a mountain. I always advocate having sticks, and you can go much faster because you have easier access to support a couple of yards away from you. You can lean in with your stick and reach a rock in a swampy area. You can be in a rough area with sharp bushes and you can get around them. The stick helps you to have more maneuverability. So let's use those. We're body and soul. We're not just pure spirit. We need reminders. We need a little thing in our door jamb or the holy water font to remind us of our baptism. As we went out the door, we made a sign of the cross on our forehead. And that was a gesture to remind us of our identity, that we are loved by God, deeply loved by God. And there's the recall, like yesterday we spoke about memory of all the things that God has done for us. And we have that beautiful Psalm 18, I love you, Lord, my strength, my rock, my fortress, my deliverer, my shield, my stronghold, where I am safe from my enemies. And some of the biggest enemies are inside myself. My passions, my ambitions, my disordered desires. I'm safe from my enemies when I'm with God in prayer. Blessed be my rock, extolled be God my Savior. And then we have the tough scene after the transfiguration in Matthew 17 where there's somebody in real trouble spiritually, humanly. And dad is so worried for his son who is possessed. And it's interesting, just a thought that's coming down of Mount Tabor. And this is Mount Arbel, by the way. And Jesus, that's where Jesus says, if you had faith like a mustard seed, you could say to this mountain, move. And it would move for you. So maybe my faith is smaller than a mustard seed. But I thank God for my faith. And I thank God for your faith. And for all those who are struggling with faith and struggling with God. We also say a prayer today for blessings. People, see you later, alligators. God bless you this beautiful morning.